Hi guys, here's just a recap of today's winning trades. Quickly, most of these we did live on the AM webinar, or basically all of them. But just like to go through them, especially because I actually had a winning Monday, which doesn't happen very often, and it's definitely not an April Fool's joke. So very proud of myself today. Not that I had anything to do with it besides following the rules. So anyway. First couple trades we put on this morning, we'll start with NASDAQ. We saw this rip up right here to this inflection zone. So this has been in here for a while. Got our volume event, multiple volume events in here. So that was this sell ice up here. So we took it, I believe it was here. Might have been here. I don't think I entered in the prior zone, but again, watch the AM webinar for this. But anyway, I took that Izzy trade, and then we took the ILUG-U as well. So the ILUG-U, you had the sell ice at the red Ludwig level. That was this up here. So we got the volume event. The ILUG-U's, the stop runs, the Dumb and Dumbers. I take aggressively, meaning first move out of that stop iceberg event. This one, the ILUG-U's, I demand ATR retest confirm of that volume event. You could, since it was sell ice, again, Mouthwash has been suggesting this in the room, that you get in, if it's a lug and you get sell ice in that direction, obviously it's a resistance area, and you get the big money coming in and sell ice, you can take it aggressively. Either way, these retested. So I waited for I got in the Izzy aggressively, inflection zone trade aggressively, and then the ILUG-U, waited for ATR retest, got in that as well. That was the entry there. Actually, it was off of this one, I'm sorry. But you could have put it, all these retested, and then these reversion trades were working great too. The reversion trade that we had, this was an A+ with an entry back in that volume. But actually, I think this was an A+, I can't tell. That might have been one ATR, so maybe it wouldn't have been filled there. But this was definitely a 1 ATR trade right back to the zone. So I digress. We're talking about the position trading. So anyway, I was already short Izzy, and then got the ATR retest confirm ILUG-U. I'm pretty sure it was that one, and got short there. And a trade actually that I missed, now that I'm looking over this, which is kind of sad because I like to take advantage of when these markets sell off. So it wasn't quite a pick trade here. So profiles encourage trader taking volume events at the top and bottoms of market profile composites, so the market moved outside of this, so I wasn't really watching it after that. But then when this sell ice came in again, the sell ice was basically right here, and then it retested. I could have definitely taken a pick short too, so that's a little upsetting there. Right off of this last event, I could have taken a pick short, but I didn't. So I had ILUG-U, and I had the Izzy trade on, and we came down here and we got some more activity, and I put on it was a bark off of this as well. So 3 different strategies I had short. This one was lower. ATR. Was this the ATR retest? I can't remember now, guys. I had 3 strategies on though. Again, just watch the AM webinar. Anyway, it came down here. None of these, how I trail my stops, so I did get out at the yellow lug, half of them. This was all, again, on the webinar. Came down here. Struggled a little bit, so I got out of half, and then I was trying to get to the blue lug here, but then I got out of some down here at the bottom of the market profile composite, and then I only had 2 left here, and you see how I struggled there and popped off of there. That's why I get out at those areas, and not out of them all, and then I stop out. I get out of the last portion. I think I had 2 left. I was trying for blue lug, which it never got down to, and or an opposing volume event. So this move lower, move lower, move lower, and then it finally. See, none of these volume events were violating the upside, so I was never out of the full amount, right? I still had some on. This one was okay, and then this was a bark and a lick trade. I'll go over why I didn't put that on in a second. But anyway, for the trades that I put on up here, this was finally an event that violated the upside, so I stopped out. I put my stop right above this prior event. The stop was this yellow line. I actually moved it just above there and stopped out. Great trade. So you did have a bark and a lick here. At the time, an algo guy was bearish. That's what I used for my filter for barks and licks. That was around this time. But I did not put those on because unless I'm seeing heavy relative volume at between the hours of 10 o'clock or 10:15, so I'm on Pacific time right now, 10:15 to 12:30 Central. I am not putting on momentum trades where I'm looking for bigger moves, because there's not, between 10:15 and 12:30 p.m. I've told you guys I've lost millions and millions of dollars over my career, because it just starts to do this, because the big money goes to launch in New York, then Chicago, and then the trade sucks, and that's when they turn on this nonsense. So unless I'm seeing high relative volume on the charts, on the 5-minute charts, which we talk about all the time, that's this stuff here. You can see there was nothing doing down here at the time, right? So, I mean, the volume wasn't horrible, but it just was not, it wasn't conducive to me. It wasn't something like this on that move down that I caught, right? So I could have put on barks and licks, but it doesn't matter. Even if I put it on, I would have say it wasn't in the right time frame where I put the trades on. Here's your ATR, here's your retest, here's your confirm. You get in right there. Well, you got a new event, and I just would have basically stopped out there, right? So I would have lost a little bit on that trade, but I didn't put it on. So, and then into the close. This was on the PM webinar. We ended up having a PM webinar, so I was going to give a verbal lashing. And then we ended up, I kind of got lucky here. We talked about this on the webinar. I took the, so Algo Guy had pulled bullish, so barks and licks are in play. That's right there. That's my filter for those. And you got your buy ice event here. And then you got your ATR, your retest, confirm. And I entered right at that 1250 market on close spike, which you're much better off just waiting for that, because you usually get a spike and then it goes opposite. So I just got lucky that this turned in my favor. I was complaining on the webinar. I was probably going to get stopped out, but I took bark and lick, and then it worked out. I was able to trail my stop to these events here, and actually never got stopped out, but I got out into the close at, let's see, oh yeah, this was VWAP. So I would have just been out of a portion of these, throw 3/4 of them, because there was 3 different things here, but I would have held, if this was regular trading hours, I would have tried to hold the red lug and or the posting volume event that failed anyway. But anyway, I got out at the time right into this. You have baby lug, you got VWAP, and that was also the top of market profile composites. So those were, I got out of 3/4 of them, and then I trailed my stop for the last bit and stopped out right at the close, or the close happened and I got out. I didn't stop out, but I got out at the close. This is after hours when this made this move down. So that was NASDAQ. And then the bond trade was an absolute whopper. We talked about this morning. Oh, by the way, this was Bitcoin. Talk about this too. This was into this zone. This was a Dumb and Dumber, a new inflection zone as well. I didn't put this trade on, but might as well show you since the chart's up here. I gotta find the damn chart. Hold on. Guys, it doesn't matter. I tell you every day, it doesn't matter what market you're trading. So these events are relevant everywhere, because it's traders that are caught puking, so on and so forth. So this was the inflection zone where this thing gapped down this day, gapped up this day, so this was an important area, and it was the top of this balance here. That's why the zone's there, and we come down, got a volume event. You could have taken that one aggressively. First move out. That's what easy trades are most of the time. That's what we're looking for, right? So that was this. Stop run, threshold. That's why I drew on the zone drawing tool. You can get in aggressively right there. That's a pretty good trade. I don't know if you like $1,500 moves on a $70,000 contract. That's pretty good. Again, you can trade futures or you can trade the cash. I didn't put this trade on again. I just wanted to show you that so I can kind of complain about it too. Anyway, put this one on in the morning. Put this in the room before the webinar and said, heads up. This is a monster double whammy. 2,700 or 2,600 plus, 2,678 stop runs here. And then you had the buy ice, right? Double whammies are inherently fade moves because you get the dumb money puke into the waiting hands of the buy ice. Usually it should do that, and talk about this in the course too. If it doesn't do that, something's up, heads up to the downside. So Algo Guy was bearish here. It's been bearish all day, just crushing. This is a huge move. So this was basically pre-market. It was right after the market bonds open. It was like right around here. But Algo Guy was bearish. So I took barks and licks off of this event. So you got your the same pattern over and over and over. Time this tagged ATR, retested the zone. I went short, bark. Actually, I didn't put on lick. I put on bark, and I got greedy, and the market was like, it was down here, and instead of chasing it down, I put it back at, I think I put it at 13, which was the wrong price anyway. Anyway, I didn't fill in the lick, which is very upsetting because this was a huge, huge trade, but I got the bark. You know, this is a point move in bonds. Just doesn't happen very often, right? And then you had all these events come in. I was trailing my stop as they came in and never got stopped out to the very, very close. And trail my stop to this one. Market moved above there, stopped out. Awesome trade. Monster trade. It was like it was a 5-hour trade. I made $2,500 on that trade. Let's see here. That's this stuff. That's a monster trade. And here's your NASDAQ trades. And I scratched that ES. We talked about that. There was nothing to really talk about there. And then that's the trade at the end of the day. And NASDAQ, and that's basically it. I put on crude too. Nothing really materialized here. This is after I even put in. If you take this, it's after the pit. But this wasn't easy as well. You had a stop run. This will probably rip overnight, but I guess I should have held it, but I didn't. Take first move out of there. I got long there, and it did nothing. Make sure you got that. You could have trailed your stop to that if you want to hold it overnight, and that was the sissy zone here. Market's obviously very bullish. Came here, came back here, got the event, took the long, and just sat there and did nothing because it was after the pit closed. So, like I said, I probably still could put this back on and then just trail it to this. But overnight's unless I really, really love my thesis is really long and it's not really long right here, you really open yourself up for that nonsense overnight during Globex. So, no trade there. I just basically scratched the trade. That was it for the day, but it was like glorious. One, it was a Monday that I usually get smoked on, and I got caught short winners in NASDAQ. That's it's unheard of lately. So, good day. Hopefully you guys caught those. We talked about all of them on the webinars. If you're not catching them, you got to figure out why. Talk to you in the morning.